Welcome back to Recipe Reviews, and today we will be cooking with the Bible, and we will be making a friendship cake inspired by the book of Ruth. And yes, this recipe takes 10 days to make, so come on this little journey with me. One of the things that I love about this book is not only the recipes that are found in it, but it also has history behind the inspiration of the recipes. And the book says that the book of Ruth is one of the few books in the Bible named for a woman. It is an important book for several reasons. First, it shows that at various times throughout its history, Israel did tolerate and was quite friendly to marriage outside of its strict laws. Ruth is also an important figure because it is through her lineage that Matthew traces the genealogy of Jesus back to Abraham through her great-grandson David, demonstrating that Jesus was both a righteous heir of the covenant and of royal stock, worthy to be called a king. Day 4 was rather interesting. It was not what I expected at all, and it had a very strong smell. Hopefully this recipe will turn out well. Day 5 was interesting. As soon as I saw what was happening, I wanted to say, "It's alive!" Yeah, this is the weirdest recipe I think I've ever done in my life. So on day 6, the smell was very pungent, and the only way I can describe the consistency as I mixed the yeast mixture is like diluted pancake batter. And about this time, it finally hit me why the yeast mixture was reacting and smelling the way it was. I am a science major, so this is a little embarrassing. It took me this long to realize that the yeast in the fermentation process was producing ethanol and carbon dioxide and alcohol. The pungent smell was alcohol. Yes, this process is used to make beer and wines, and it finally clicked. On day 10, I prepared this little jar of yeast mixture and gave it to one of my best friends and the recipe so that she could make it at home. Now it's time to make the cake. All the ingredients for the cake will be in the description box below and the instructions. I am going to be calling this the adult friendship cake just because there is some level of alcohol actually going into the cake. But this would not be a cake that I would make for my fiance. Why? Because this is his worst nightmare in a cake. Almost all of the ingredients in this cake he does not like. So this would not be a friendship cake for him. It doesn't say if these should be chopped or not. I'm assuming not. So I'm just taking off the stems. And don't worry, I washed my hands before cooking. You always wash your hands before cooking or baking. If you don't, y'all are nasty. This is the only complaint I so far have of this book, is that the instructions are not very clear. For example, on day 10 it says, remove 3 cupfuls and give to 2 friends. Okay, cupfuls like a mug cup or a literal like measuring cup? Cupfuls. What does that mean? Just for consistency, I used an actual measuring cup, but later found out that's probably not what they meant, just because later on you'll see I have to add more of the yeast mixture to the cake batter. I am using this cake mold because the book says to use a large roasting pan. I've never roasted anything in my life, so I'm just working with what I got. Now, I was extremely skeptical about adding the sugar on the top before baking the cake. I didn't know if I was breaking some type of baker's rules, but I was extremely surprised about how it turned out, how it created like this glazed crust on top of the cake, and I learned something new. It actually turned out really good. I would give this cake a 9 out of 10. It was really good, and my dad actually described it as puding. Puding is Puerto Rican bread pudding, and he said it actually reminded him of his childhood, so that definitely got the thumbs up from the captain. I shared this cake with 3 other of my friends, and they said that they couldn't actually taste the alcohol, but my dad and I, we could taste a little bit of the alcohol. So I guess it just depends on your palate if you can taste the alcohol or not. But my friends actually gave this cake a 9.5 out of 10. And I gave my friends really big slices, like more than half of the cake was gone by the time I had split up the slices among them so that they could take it home. Let's just say it did not make it home. I make this recipe again for a very special occasion. Just because this cake takes more than 10 days to make. Thank you for watching until the end of the video. Please make sure to click all the buttons, like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And until next time, bye!